Beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it tremendously. What I want to talk to you about this afternoon is really a way for all of us to not only become full-time real-life traders for those who are here, but really discuss some incredible and very, very compelling technology that is accessible for real-life trading. So real-life trading is partnered with an amazing company, a phenomenal platform, and two amazing opportunities that lay in front of us. What I'm going to be discussing in this webinar and this presentation today is how you can get paid to day trade full-time and how you can get additional leverage and additional capital for your active trading, and how you can use incredible technology that exists, that's available right now, that real traders are using as we speak to revolutionize not only your trading, but revolutionize the world as it relates to trading. So incredible stuff. Type in a 3 if you've heard about AI. You know all about, you've heard that word a million times by now. AI, biologistics, trading, data. That's really what we're discussing at this exact second, is how all of this gets blended together, and more importantly, how you can be impacted and how you are going to be impacted by all of this, but not only impacted, but just by using it, by having access to this. So this is a gentleman that you've already seen this webinar before. We have recorded and posted this webinar on our YouTube channel. It's been viewed thousands of times. So this is Dr. David Bach. He did graduate from Harvard, hashtag no big deal. Doctor, neuroscientist, serial entrepreneur. He's already built and scaled numerous companies. And one of the things that he has worked on for the last 15 years is monitoring his own brain and his body. He started a company called Optios with the goal of leveraging cutting-edge neuroscience to meaningfully improve human performance and the human experience. So he is a doctor from Harvard of neuroscience. So we're talking next level intelligence. You have me in the cafeteria, right, eating hot dogs, and then you have this guy who's developing brainwave scans for the world to figure out how we can use this to better humanity. So a quick, really interesting background study for just a moment. This all started with an experiment, and it started with a company called DARPA. And DARPA did a little bit of research to discuss and determine how novices who shot firearms, right, at target practice, essentially, how they would take target practice and how they would shoot. And while they were wearing certain brainwave scanning functionalities and devices, what they would do is they would determine a novice versus an expert brain state. Essentially something called the state of flow. Type in a 4 if you've heard of that before. Like you've heard, okay, being in the flow, being in the state of flow, knowing how it works, knowing how it feels, all those things. Well, it exists in athletes. It exists here in not only target practice, but trained snipers, trained military professionals, individuals who are absolutely outrageously focused on one particular outcome. And what they noticed is they were able to appropriately and correctly identify when a professional sniper was in the state of flow using the technology that David has created, right? Being able to apply neuroscience with military snipers, with understanding, is an individual human in the state of flow? Are they experiencing being an expert at what they're focusing on right now? And are they fully ready to not only facilitate it, but to use it with a high level of accuracy? Now, we can all see how this would blend with sports, with athletes, but it eventually, and this very recently, we're talking about months, has now started progressing into trading. And guess who is one of those trading companies that have partnered with Optios to bring this to the world? That's right, all of you and real life trading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring David on and talk a little bit about what we have here, which is the science in financial trading. So the really important piece to know here is this is a magnificently humongous sample size that David and his team has incorporated and determined. So David, do you want to talk a little bit about not only the science and financial trading, but what this 62% number really means?
Sure. Thank you. I apologize for being a bit late to this thing. So in trading, the idea is you're never going to be right 100% of the time, but
right.
And if you're right a little bit more than 50% of the time and you manage your bets, you can make billions of dollars. And so the best practice when you look at hedge funds around the world is that they're right about 53 or 54% of the time. And, you make enough bets where you just make that kind of margin. Again, it can turn into a huge amount of money. The fact that we can look into the brain and predict with 62% accuracy whether something's going to make money or not gives us a massive edge. And what I mean when I say 62% accuracy is this. Kind of if you take a typical trader, and you make all the science work so that it's kind of a 50-50 baseline, we know that when you're in a good state, the likelihood your trade's going to make money is, you're not going to make it all the time, but it's going to be substantially more, right? And so by using this, you can differentiate it. And I mean, we're in active discussions with people around Wall Street. It is one of the strongest signals, alpha signals around. And again, as this slide says, we've been doing this now over 3 years, over 200,000 trades, at this point, over 30 traders. And so, I mean, I think it's a very, very exciting thing, both scientifically and also the impact economically.
Yeah, there's a book out there, team, called The Man Who Solved the Market. I don't know if you've heard of a young, beautiful man called Jim Simmons or not, but he's the billionaire hedge fund trader. And in the book, it mentions a statistic that I'm probably going to mess up a little bit. But essentially, if you have a 50.2% edge, right? 50.2, that 0.2% edge is worth billions. Yeah. And he said that because he can extrapolate over enough period of time, and he used mathematical formulas and equations to take hundreds of thousands into billions. It's a great book if you haven't read it, if you love trading. And it's also an incredible documentary on YouTube, and I think there's a few on Netflix. So what we're talking about here, team, is really quite substantial. And I want you to understand the impact that this has for you all who want to be full-time traders, who want to be active in the market. This is what your career is. In fact, hit me with a 7 if that's you. If you're like, bro, I'm in this. I love trading. I want to do this full-time. I want to do this as a career. I want to be in this world. This is how I want to make my money. I want to be traveling anywhere in the world, having access to internet, being my own boss, being my own trader. So, I mean, every single person here has already typed in a 7. Yeah. So we're talking to you. These are the people that we're elaborating with. This is impactful for your career. That's why this is so telling. This is why this is so incredible. And so what Dave and I are going to do now is show you a really, really interesting slide as it relates to precisely the trading mechanism with traders being in the state of flow. So David, walk us through this chart here.
Will do. And just by way of introduction, I don't know if you know this, Jeremy, but a number of our investors actually are from Renaissance, Jim Simons' firm, and we're founders there. And so we're very much coming from that world.
Yeah.
So the way, let me begin and say this. We have a signal, which is the ability to look at a trader's brain and say, okay, you're in a good state or a bad state. And that signal predicts, is the trade you're making going to wind up being profitable or not? And so the question is, well, how do you actually exploit that? How do you use that signal? And, I know for you guys who are on as traders, now you become the source of that signal. And there's a lot of ways you could think about it. What we are doing in conjunction with this group T3, who you'll hear about a little bit more soon, is we're managing what's called a center book. And this is something you see a lot of. What happens is traders who are participating in our program get up in the morning, and before they trade, they put on a headset, which you see illustrated over here on the left. And it takes 3-4 minutes to put the thing on. It weighs almost nothing. And so once you put it on, you don't actually notice it, but you're wearing it all day. So you're trading just like you normally do, but as you trade, we're monitoring your brain signals. And so what that means is you buy a stock, we at that point can generate real-time a prediction. Do we think you're going to make money or lose money on that? That in turn is algorithmically fueling activity in a separate pool of capital called a center book. So this is not your account. This is a separate account, which is basically mirroring what you do. But what's happening is the algorithm says, we're going to push the gas pedal down when you're in a good brain state. And when you're not, maybe we're not going to do the trade. Right. And so, Jeremy's put in these arrows, think about it. It's 10:30 in the morning. You decide you want to buy 400 shares of Facebook. Right. And our algorithm says, you know what, you're not in a great brain state. We're not going to do that. Right. But, 15 minutes go by, you buy Salesforce, our system says, we really think you're going to make money. We might double that bet. And so in this other pool of capital, instead of 750 shares, we buy 1,500. Right. And that's basically it. And the fact of the matter is, while the traders we're working with are making money, we are making for every dollar bet somewhere around 3 to 5 times as much, generating a Sharpe ratio, which is in the sort of range of 4 or 5, which if trading is just very, very strong performance. Okay, no, so that's how we make money. I think the question, if I were you, I'd be asking is, okay, that's great. I'm giving you my brain signal. How do I benefit out of that? And I think that the next slide begins to talk about, okay, you're participating, you're a trader in this program. How do you participate in the value? And so, Jeremy, I think, unless you got something to add, I think we should go to the next slide.
100%. Yeah. So that's a great description, David. Thank you, of just kind of how that breakdown happens. And again, using not only what you're already doing now, but figuring out a way to amplify it. So we're talking large numbers, which is why real life trading does have a one-of-a-kind offer for those who are watching this particular presentation. For those who are here, either live or in the recording, I promise you at the very beginning that I would show you a way to get paid to literally day trade. So what we're going to be offering for people who wear the Optios headset is a literal $2,800 a month plus profit sharing to trade with the headset, which is substantial in my mind. That this is an amazing, amazing thing, an opportunity. Now, obviously, for you watching this, being hey, I want to trade full time. We have bills and you got families. I get it. We understand how this works. So a full-time trader needs some consistent income, meaning type in a 2 if you already see how this is a second, potentially third, fourth, or fifth additional stream of income for you and your family. Now, for some of you, when I asked earlier, do you want to be a full-time trader? You're not there yet. And this might be a year, 2, 3 years down the road. But for a decent chunk of people who are watching this, you've already been trading for 2 or 3 years. You already have experience and you already have capital. The only thing now that you're missing is potentially an additional stream of income of some kind and of some magnitude to see, hey, can you make it in this particular career? And bing, bong, boom, this is a legit opportunity for those who are thinking, how could I replace a stream or supplement a stream of income from my job to being a full-time trader? Now, there is a quick quiz to see if you qualify. Type in a 1 if you would like to see a quick little breakdown of that quiz to see if you qualify. And when I say qualify, I mean right now. I don't mean 17 years from now. I don't mean 7 hours from now. I mean this exact second in time. So here's the quiz, and we're going to walk through it. We'll talk through it for all those who are here. I need you to be an active trader for at least the past year. I want you to have $50,000 at least, a minimum, of trading capital for right now. And the reason it's in gray is because this will change in the future. I know I have a lot of Canadians who are here watching this. And so when we open this up to Canada, David's going to be a whole new group of people, and it's really, really exciting stuff. But you need to be US based presently, and you need to make at least 30 to 40 decisions per day. Now, I'm going to let my guy, David, walk you through a little bit about what that means particularly.
The 30 or 40 decisions a day, right? So I'm going to get a little geeky about this.
Sure.
So if you think about this, when you join the program, we want to put a headset on you. We want to monitor your brain waves, and we want to figure out what does your brain look like when you're in the zone, when you're not. This is basically an AI and machine learning problem, right? And so
Yep.
we can't just take a look at your brain and know right away. We have to observe it. So what we end up doing is we end up watching, say, 600 or 700 trades, maybe up to 1,000, somewhere like that. And so, again, I'm going to go and geeky on this. So let's say you do 1,000 trades, and let's say you made money on 550, you lost money on 450. You can use machine learning to take a look at those brainwaves and say, okay, now we figure it out. This is what your brain looks like in association with the good ones or the bad ones. And once we know that, then we're ready to say, okay, for the 1,001st trade, we're ready to start betting on it because we know we have an edge in understanding it. So going back to the 30 or 40, if you make 2 trades a day and we need 1,000, that means, we've got 500 days of monitoring your brain before we get there. And so the thing is, we don't want to have you wearing a headset without us trading for more than, most cases, a couple months. And so the 30 or 40 decisions a day is something where we just get enough data. The other thing is, a 12% edge is a lot, but we want to start making money pretty quickly. And if you're doing 30 or 40 trades a day, we can be pretty reliably sure that in any given week, we're likely to make money on it. So I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, that's the reason for this. And the reason for the 50,000 is it's just a measure of the volume of trading that's kind of necessary for because we're going to be betting significant dollars. The U.S. base is purely, as Jeremy said, a logistic thing. Over time, we'll be able to expand worldwide, but right now there's so much demand in the U.S. We're trying to kind of keep our focus there because it's logistically easier. But that'll change over time.
Yeah, totally. So we have a few traders that will scale in and scale out of a trade. Meaning, to clear this up, I wouldn't say, and I think we would agree that this doesn't have to be 40 totally unique, different trades, right, David?
No. I mean, we got traders who are trading 10 names where they're scaling in and out all day. That's fine.
Yeah.
You just need to make separate decisions.
Correct.
So if you buy, 200 shares of Apple at 10 o'clock and then another 200 shares at 11, those count as 2 decisions.
Yeah, but I think it's very valuable to know because, again, team like that, what we're doing and what we need to do is figure out how quickly we can figure out when is Monica, when is Zachary, when is Lauren, when is Brian in the state of flow. And we want you to make money. We want this program to make money. And so we're going to be paying you to wear the headset while you're making your decisions, while you're having your capital, so that we can determine when is Bryson in the state of flow. David, let's say in that 3-month time frame, that particular trader isn't profitable. They don't make money for their accounts, but whenever they're in the state of flow, as the brainwave has decided, that particular trader does make profitable decisions. What would happen in that scenario?
Well, I mean, then you're going to continue to get the $2,800 a month, right? So it's a kind of backstop against losing money. But we definitely have some situations where, where the center book is making money and the trader is losing money. I'm going to be honest. If you go a month or 2 and you lose money, it's no big deal. If you go a year, ultimately, we don't have anybody yet where they're able to consistently lose money as a trader and still kind of be well. I mean, I guess theoretically you could do it, but we do definitely think that the center book has the capacity to add, essentially if you're making whatever 125,000 a year on your own trading, that we can add another 200,000 to your income. I mean, it's pretty substantial.
Yeah, I think that's quite substantial. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but type in a 2 if you did. I heard it. Lauren says, wow. Yeah, this is a big deal, team. These aren't small fries we're talking about. These are big.
I mean, to be clear, again, we are backed by founders of Renaissance who basically said, we have unlimited capital to trade within the center book. And so, we think we've got the ability, once we've got 100 traders on the platform, we think we can be trading between $1 and $2 billion. When you start thinking about the risk, the profit share from that, it becomes a ton of money for the individual traders.
I love it. I love it. Very, very fascinating. Incredible stuff. So if you were,
yeah, just the only other thing is, we do give you reports. We're not right now. You're not going to be able to watch your brain in real time, but at the end of every week, you'll get a report on what we saw in your brain. And a lot of traders actually find it's very valuable. I mean, what you see with the yellow dots is here, this was a trading decision. And you can sort of, when it's live, you can kind of toggle over it and you can see the decision. But, it's very helpful, I think, for people to see, okay, on Tuesday I was in a better state than Wednesday, because you can start to actually learn how to be a better trader based on it. And of course, the reporting is going to keep getting better over time. And I think, we're very proud of this. And I think, kind of going ahead, the traders who have joined from real life trading with us, I think universally are thinking this is really awesome, not only because of the extra income, but I think this is a very unusual and positive environment that we're offering people to do something really cool.
Agreed. And not to skip over that, team, but just to make sure that you're aware, this is a report that you'll get as part of wearing the headset at the end of every single week, which simply means, imagine on your weekend routines now, your weekend routines, an hour Saturday, an hour Sunday, is going over your trades, reviewing each one and seeing your brainwave pattern and the predictability and the probability of your trades based on how you're feeling, and being able to take notes of that. That alone, to me, makes this worth it, because now you're adding so much legit internal data, and you go, oh, wow, I was really angry Monday and I sure traded like it. And you're able to kind of analyze that and see how it affected it, and help you become in the state of flow more. Because if you're in the state of flow more, that directly obviously impacts your trading. So if you know why you're in the state of flow, you're able to kind of recreate those conditions, be there more, which is going to make you more profitable. Type in 5 if that makes sense. This is really, really incredible work, and a phenomenal opportunity that every single person here, given the quiz capability of passing and saying, yes, I have all these requirements, can be a part of this immediately. So let's talk about, just for a second, some of the frequently asked questions. This is one, believe it or not, that we have gotten the most. Is it safe?
Yeah, actually, I can speak to these, and I actually want to talk to a couple of the questions that came in the chat as well. So yeah, the helmet, or the thing you put on your head, first thing I'll tell you is it weighs less than 1 pound. And so in general, once it's on, after about a minute or two, you don't notice it anymore. But it is FDA approved. It's been around for, I think 15 years at this point. And so it's completely safe. All it is sensors that's monitoring your brainwave. So it's kind of, if you think about it, technologically like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. It's just a sensor that goes on the head that's picking up brainwaves. It's not sending any information into the brain or anything. So yeah, it's completely safe and FDA approved. It says here that it takes 5 to 10 minutes every morning. I think that's probably conservative. But it's sort of in that range, and it just becomes part of your morning routine. You can use lots of Bluetooth devices as well. I already talked about the fourth point. You're not going to get information while you trade, but at the end of every week you will. And over time, a lot of what we're trying to do here is work with you to kind of iteratively make the program better. And so we're in active discussion with you, and the program does get better because, it's kind of, we're working together. I want to actually pause. We didn't put this into the deck, Jeremy, but there's been a couple questions, which is like, kind of, what's Optios's long-term plan here, right? And it's actually a fair question, because we're talking about sort of what's in it today for you right now, and I think that's what's really important. But I do want to just share for 2 minutes, kind of, what this is all about. Okay, so just by way of background, Jeremy shared my bio before I had logged in, but I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a doctor and a scientist. We are a group of scientist entrepreneurs who are actually looking to make an impact in the world. And long term, we're seeking to build what's called a neuroperformance platform that helps people measure and improve their brain in a lot of arenas. So our vision is 5 years, 10 years from now, our software is going to be embedded in video gaming technology and ed tech, educational technology. It's already being in use in the military. We've got sports teams and stuff who are using it, but it's fundamentally to provide tools that help people measure when they're in a good state and then actually train their brain to get there. And, it's an incredibly exciting vision. The data, as you can imagine, is very valuable here to us because it allows us to just get very smart. And so this is really kind of step one for us. Kind of, if you think back to when Amazon started, they were just selling books, right? And they built a good business. But once they figured that out, they could expand. It's the same thing here. We're starting with what's called a narrow use case, but once this is going to be an ATM machine for us, I think probably by February, it's going to just start, we're still right at the point where it's about to get profitable for the company. And at that point, we take that money, we reinvest it. There's a lot of expansion capability available in finance and then going into other industries. So that's the long-term vision. We're really at this kind of wonderful moment in a company where it's kind of at the ground floor, which is, I've been fortunate. This is my fourth company. I think the next year or two is the most exciting when, kind of everything's. And, so sorry to kind of distract. I saw a couple of questions and I wanted to be sure you guys knew, what we're seeking to do. But it's super cool to start with a technology which is this profitable.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And for those who are here at the very beginning, right, we also promised some unique and kind of cool insights regarding some of your trading capital and how you can access potentially more of that. Because when we're talking about the requirements of this, because a lot of you are really pumped about it, a lot of you are already in. For those of you who know that you are, by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and share a link in the chat pane. Go ahead and fill this link out. It's just a Google form, very easy, free to fill out. But go ahead and fill this out if you can for us, this type form. I'll throw it in the chat pane. And let us know your level of interest as you're filling out that form today, tomorrow, next week, but preferably today, tomorrow. Go through it and you're able to kind of give us more insights, because one of the things that you will have to do is the center book is attached to and everything is done through your trading platform, Sterling, which is going to be executing the trades on the T3 platform. So let's talk a little bit about moving the capital to T3 and what this means. Because again, you can't just, for right now, if you have Charles Schwab or Interactive Brokers or Fidelity or TradeStation, you can't take that platform and use the Optios headset presently. Maybe 5 years from now, maybe not. It's irrelevant. What I can say is the important piece is, where are you trading and how are you interacting with the market? And that's why this beautiful man here, Colin, is joining us with the face of an absolute angel. He and I met for the first time in Orlando when we had our day trading conference just back in May. And he's here to talk a little bit about T3 and tell us what it is, because I think a few of you might not be fully aware of not only the capacity and the capability that you have with T3 right now, but what this means for your trading capital. So Colin, give us a quick breakdown.
Yeah, appreciate that, Jeremy. That was a great introduction. So yeah, I'm Colin O'Rourke. I'm one of the managing members here at T3. And really what we aim to do is offer superior leverage and a value-added professional environment to our traders. So we've been around for 22 years. We have over 700 traders. And, the transition to become a trader with us can be pretty seamless. We have a variety of different platforms that you can choose from for different trading needs. That would be obviously eligible to also trade with Optios. You could trade different asset classes, equity option, futures, options on futures, and even crypto. So, really though, leverage is the kind of greatest tool that we have. So I know a lot of you guys, like Jeremy said, you trade on Interactive Brokers, you trade on Fidelity, and usually you have that 50K, and maybe you get some day trading buying power from that. And usually that kind of is at Reg T margining of 4 times. with that same 50,000, we can go much higher and get you to $1 million of trading capital, which for the active trading community can be a huge deal into what you end up making in your bottom line. So if you have, any questions, you want to reach out to us, just reach out to the guys at RLT and they'll help you out.
You heard that correct. Just in case you didn't hear that correct, I'm going to reiterate it. T3, and again, aside from Optios, just as an example, let's hypothetically pretend that you do not want to make $2,800 a month for whatever reason. I don't know why. And or you might only take 2 or 3 trades a day. Let's just pretend that we're there. If you have trading capital, T3 presently offer the capability for you to leverage your current trading accounts much higher than what you're getting with Interactive Brokers or Fidelity, which is 1 to 4 day trading leverage, right? 1 to 4. So if you have 50,000, you have a max of $200,000 of buying power. Colin, could you give us the insight on what is the risk of having an account buying power capacity of this size?
Of course, obviously when you start to scale up your trading, risk management is paramount. So we work on our traders directly on managing that risk. We have different risk systems in place internally and different stop loss mechanisms in place for the trader. But that is up to them to kind of be able to manage overall. So it increases your ability to make a lot more money overall. With that, you have to be mindful of additional risk that you're putting on. But for the active day trading community, it's a lot more simplified of equation because everything is manageable. You're able to see that right in front of you, your total risk. So you'll always be able to stop yourself out of trouble if you're on top of it.
Yeah, totally. And so to reiterate, team, this is something that I want you just to consider on your own trading, right? Let's say right now you have a $100,000 trading account and you would feel so much more comfortable, so much more able to have the capacity to take more trades because you have more buying power capacity. Even if you only take currently 2 or 3 trades now, that might be because you only have that amount of buying power. So if you need more buying power, if you need additional funds to trade with, that is something that T3 offers. They've been around forever, 20 plus years. They have over 700 traders on their platform. And right now you can, with T3's platform, trade futures, options, cryptos, and equities. But just keep in mind, only equities are going to be used in the center book. So with the actual headset,
For now,
you're only going to be using equities. But all of this is going to blend in the very, very near future. So I wanted you to be aware of that because, in my opinion, this is an incredible opportunity to get additional trading capital to be a full-time trader, because that's what this looks like. Right? Being a full-time trader looks like having access to a couple $100,000 or a couple $1 million. I mean, imagine if you take $250,000 and pop $250,000 over to T3. What type of trading leverage does that look like, Colin, with 20x?
Yeah, we can get up to 5 million. And that's the type of scalability that we have here at the firm as well, that there's usually not much of a point that a trader gets to where they outscale the firm because of the backing that we have at the company.
Which is so cool. Team, type it a 5 if that's phenomenal. That is amazing. Because again, we know that capital is a issue for a lot of traders, but this is like, hey, dude, you have these opportunities. This is in front of you. This is a possibility.
Yeah, so I want to just tell you, one of the traders who we have on the platform, he's had trading days where he's made over $250,000 in a day. Now he's also had trading days where he's lost like 85,000 in a day. So it's big rolling, but like the guy, he definitely is taking home just from his own account well over $1 million a year. And when you add in it's quite substantial when you do it right. So
I will lose 85 grand a day to make $250,000 a day. So, sign me up for that risk reward.
I also want to just say, we at Optios, when we had the science technology, we had to find a partner. And so we did a lot of due diligence. And actually, our investors were very strongly supportive of T3. And so, in addition to the fact that, you've got real life examples, because there's 6 real life traders already who I think are very happy there and their credibility. Now, I can just tell you that from Optios's perspective, we're very proud of this offering, and we think for the right people, it's really quite unique and valuable.
Yep, I agree.
Lauren says it's a too good to be true vibe. I don't know. I don't think it actually is. I think it's I mean, the truth of the matter is when you do trading right, it becomes an incredibly lucrative business.
Yeah.
So
well, here's the truth though, Lauren, and I know Lauren says that in a way of like, hey, she already wants to work with real life trading in the future. But Lauren, would you agree that when you first started RLT, you're like, this is too good to be true? I mean, I want to make all of my offers so compelling that you feel stupid to say no. That's my whole, when I create anything, I want to make something so fantastic. People are like, why would I not do this? That's my business plan from day one of any business I operate or work with. I want to create something. So yes, this is mega cutting edge technology. This is something that we all have access to right now. So I'll post the link again, the type form in the chat pane. I would love for you to fill this out. And I want you to know that this is an opportunity to create not only advanced science and create the future. So you be a part of this one of a kind. You're on the ground floor level of opportunity, but you're going to get weekly reports on the brain. You're going to get $2,800 a month plus your profit sharing. That's what's in this for you. So if you're asking, what are the next steps? It's very, very simple. All we need you to do is fill out the free questionnaire. Doesn't cost anything to fill it out. Fill it out, right? Do an interview with David's team. You'll provide documentation, right? Driver's license, your name, address, and then you're going to set up an account with T3, and then you're going to get trained on the account, just like with any other platform. Where's the buys? Where's the sales? Where's the charting? And then poof, you start actively trading. Because that's why everyone here who wants to be a full-time trader, this is what being a full-time trader looks like, interacting with the markets often. Lynette says, I don't qualify now. What steps would a newbie do to qualify? Well, Lynette, I know you personally, so I know you're already on the path. You just started learning about trading weeks ago, months ago. So keep going down the journey of studying and education and practice, right? Because you're absolutely correct. Earlier, we mentioned one of the requirements is you do need to have been an active trader for a year. So give yourself a nice little time horizon and just know as a career path. And for those of you who are on Lynette's side, where you're like, I'm new to this, I don't know. This is your career path. This is something that you can be thinking through and be ready for and start rocking and rolling. Arsenius, I think, yes, I would like you to qualify. I would like you to fill out the questionnaire and have an interview with David's team. Now, I'll read Arsenius's question out loud.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
I haven't been trading for a full 12 months, but I was a prop trader in the past for a while. Would that qualify me? The answer is
qualifies you.
yeah. So Arsenius, I'm excited about that, brother. This is going to be really, really cool, man.
Hey, I also just want to emphasize, if you want to qualify for Optios, you're going to need pretty active trading volume. But if you are, a successful trader with meaningful capital, and you're not doing 30 or 40 trades a day, you can. Oh, actually, Arsenia says I was prop trading. So you were with T3 in the past, yeah. But anyway, the point is you can join the T3 platform as well. If you only trade options or you don't qualify for Optios. And so if that sounds good, I would just encourage you to put your name in there as well. It is, I think, really an excellent platform.
Exactly. Yeah. We consider all traders of really all levels. And additionally, what some traders don't realize is when they get offered the opportunity to trade with more capital, maybe that puts you over the top to get to those 30, 40 trading decisions, or maybe it's just 3 to 6 months away and you already being involved with T3 just kind of speeds up that entire process. So yeah, there's a lot of different opportunity, like David said.
Yep. Absolutely agree, team. I'm very glad that we've had this discussion because for a lot of you, you now see a path, you see a goal. Many of you need a path. Many of you need a goal of going, this is where I'm going. This is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to do. And if you know that that's where you're going to go, if you know that's what you want to do, and if you know that that's a direction that you would really like to interact with, even if you just want additional trading capital and you want to be a part of T3, Lauren, I would go ahead and fill out the questionnaire anyway. Because David's team can very quickly identify, hey, this person, they're not ready for the Optios headset, but they could be a part of T3. They could get additional trading capital. With that, I'm perfectly fine with. The questionnaire is free. Doesn't cost you anything. I'm not going to be selling your data, right? I've never sold your data ever, and I never will. I'm just going to give David's team the opportunity to look over it. He'll reach out to the people that qualify for Optios. We already have about 6 or 7 traders from Real Life Trading doing that now. And then for those of you who want additional trading capital and be a part of T3, right, let's make it happen. So our agreement, as stated at the very, very beginning of class, fill out the form. You'll connect with David's team. For those of you who get the green light, you'll schedule a technician to meet and greet in person, right? That's why it's US based. And then you're going to complete your 2 or 3 months of headset learning. And you're going to be on the ground floor of an absolutely revolutionary opportunity, a one of a kind. You have not seen this webinar before. That's why it seems too good to be true. This is a presentation you haven't seen before, other than at Real Life Trading. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor to have you here. Are there any other questions that either myself, my man Colin, or my guy David, are there any questions that we can answer for you?
Such a privilege to be your guy.
You are, dude. You are, man.
This has been one of the funnest partnerships I've ever done. It's really great.
Thank you. Thank you. Andrew says, I don't qualify now, but looking forward to options and futures being added to Optios in the future, and I will fill out the form. You got it, brother. Yep, all good.
Andrew.
Benjamin,
well,
yeah,
you might want to reach out to us as well, because we do have some extended benefits for those, equity options, futures options traders as well.
Ben Epps or Benjamin said, are there any RLT traders doing this already? Yeah, there are 6. We did a webinar a few months ago, and there were 6 people. And I think at the moment, everybody's pretty happy.
And there's also RLT traders that aren't yet a part of Optios, but already on the T3 platform, just to clarify, what David and I have been talking about.
Yep.
How do you reach out to T3 regarding opening an account? Arsenis, if you just fill out the survey, we'll make sure that Colin connects to you. What's going to happen is you fill out the survey, and we're all going to meet together and look over it. So that's the easiest thing.
Yep. Yep.
We're not going to drop you. I promise. Colin will be all over this.
Sweet. Philip says we'd love to see
periodic updates. We'd love to see periodic updates. We're going to be providing periodic updates through this partnership.
Yep. Yeah. I love it. Well, cool. This is so fun. Monica says I love the concept. Well, thanks, Monica. Love that you're here. Appreciate the comment. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Philip says this was super cool. It is. It is truly a remarkable, very intriguing, and a massively unique information and presentation.
You do not have to cut your hair. We are. I will just tell you this.
That's actually a legit good question, because you're bald.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not David's head.
Let me tell you this. Let me just tell you a story. We are working with a professional baseball team. I'm not allowed to tell you, who it is, but many of the players are Dominican, don't speak English, and they have basically braids on their hair. We've had no trouble whatsoever getting a brain signal from them. So, it's all good. You do not have to shave your head, Arsenis. If you want to, we would be delighted to have you do it, but we can do it. We have a bunch of translators at this point. All our tech speak Spanish for the thing. All right, super cool.
Well, thanks all for being here. Svetlana Nelson, reach out to me if you don't know how to trade the markets yet. That's what I do. I teach people how to trade the markets, and in my humble opinion, I'm at least the top of the best in the world at doing so. So reach out. Let me know how I can provide assistance in the educational realm. Make sure that you're all comfortable, that you're all excited, you're all ready to rock and transform lives. Team from around the world, thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting myself, David, and Colin with your time and your energy. Have an incredible rest of your weekend. Love you all so much. See you.